they're static. The animation's still there, but it's not being transferred onto the locators. So I'm going to go back to frame 24 and I'll move on to the next bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to constrain. So we talked about parenting, and now I'm going to do something. I'm going to constrain these children of these locators, so the path. So I'm going to go to the anim waste locator, and I'm going to constrain it to this control, this one here. I'll show you in this. So let me make this guy. So like, I'm just going to take the bones off so you can see this a bit better. Okay, so in order to constrain something, you select the thing you want to constrain. Constrain is like to stick to something. So I'm going to select the thing I want to constrain, which is this, and then I'm going to select the waste anim locator, and then I'm going to go constrain in the constrain animation menu, constrain point. I'm just going to make sure that maintain offset's not on and press apply. I'm going to do that again so you can see what's happening. Look, so I've got I've first of all selected what I want it to constrain to, stick to. The thing I want it to stick is the anim waste, and I do constrain point. Now look over here and see what happens. Look, it goes to the center of this control, it sticks to it. Now I want it to orientate itself exactly the same way as this, so I go constrain orient. Now it's got the same orientation. I can see there's two kind of stray points here. I'm just going to get rid of them. I should notice that. I'll just get rid of that. Okay, so now if I go through, see this? Look at this constrained locator. I'll just go in so you can see it. Wait a minute, where is it? Anim waste. You'll see it is moving it exactly the same way as this control. Okay, so this is constrained. I can see the constraints here. Next, I'm going to go to the pole vectors. The pole vectors are very easy. I'm going to go to the first pole vector, this one here, and I'm going to constrain the pole A to it. So remember, to constrain something, you select the constrainer, and then you control select the thing you want to constrain, and I'm going to go constrain point. These only need a point constraint, they don't need an orient, because pole vectors don't have orient information. Then I'll select this one and go to pole B and go constrain point. Yeah, and it goes. Right. Now I'm going to go to the feet. Now I'm going to go to the left foot anim, and the left foot is obviously this one here. And I'm going to select the foot control. Well, first I select the foot control, select the thing I want to constrain. Then I select the left foot, which is the left and right foot are in the same place, and do constrain point, constrain, you can see it up there, constrain orient. So this is where the center of this control is. It's actually at the heel. When you constrain like this, it always goes to the center of the control. So in this case, the center is at the heel. And I'll go to this one, select this first, then control select the right foot and go constrain point, constrain orient. Alright, okay, the guy who's rigged this hasn't rigged it very well. He's made one center point in the middle and one slant behind, doesn't matter. Okay, so I open these up. We can see that we have all these constraints. Yeah, these are all the constraints and all these different. Now the next point is, you can see this is, you look, if I scrub through this, you can see that these locators, I'll show you the left and right foot one because that's quite interesting. You see they're stuck to the guy's feet. Okay, as are all the other ones. The anim waste, the pole A, the pole B, they're all moving. Well, the pole vectors aren't moving because they only move when he moves, but yeah, they're all moving around, yeah? Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to back to frame 24. I'm going to bake these out. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, presently there's no animation on these locators. They're just stuck to these controls that have animation on them. But if I want to get animation onto the locators, I have to bake them out. So I'm going to highlight all the anim locators, not the path locators which have animation on it, which has been muted, but the anim ones. So I've got the anim waist, the pole A, the pole B, the left foot anim and the right foot anim, just the anim locators. And I'm going to go to edit, keys, edit, keys, bake, edit keys, bake simulation. I'll go in the option box and I'm going to bake them out, time slider. I'm not going to keep bake keys and I'm not going to smart bake. So I'm just going to have a key in every frame. So I'm going to bake this off now. So I'll press bake and he'll run until it comes to the end. And look, I've got keys on every frame. Yeah, off he goes. Right. Now this is the interesting point. So now I've got animation on this and I've got animation on this. I'll show you. Look, I can get rid of now all these constraints. I don't need them because these locators have animation baked onto them. Because look, I can go here, 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 and here, and just press delete. And look, if I select the anim locators, they're still moving because they have baked the animation, right? Now this is where it gets interesting. I want to now do the reverse. Now that these locators have animation on them, I want to have them control the feet and the waist and not. So I want to take the animation off the waist and the feet and have them on the locators. So I'm going to go to the feet. And so this is my left foot and I'm just going to watch this. I'm going to delete the animation here. You see it here on the foot control. Now when I do this, I've got to be careful not to delete everything because the locator only has the translate information and the rotate information, this stuff here. It doesn't have all these other little bits of information, the ball, the pivot, the tap, the toe that we may have put on this. It doesn't have that. So if you've got any extra information there, then all I'm going to delete is this stuff here, the translate and rotate. So I'm going to go here. The easiest way to do this. See, if you delete in the timeline, if you have any of the, I think in this case, see, I've got some heel tap. I don't want to get rid of that. But I can get, either you can select all the channels here, the translate and rotate, and just select them and press delete. Yeah? Or you can go into the channel box, if you want to make sure you don't delete anything. Channel box, select them there. Right click and go break connections, and that will delete all that animation. Yeah. And now what I do is the other way around. I select the locator and I shift select the foot control and I do constrain, point, constrain, orient. Now look what happens when I run this. The foot moves as if nothing's happened, but here what's actually happening this time is the foot is being controlled by this locator. There is no animation on this control apart from that. This is causing this. This will all become clear why I'm doing this. Okay, so I'm going to do this to all of these different ones. I'm going to go, I'll just go back to the frame that I centered them out on, frame 24. Now I'm going to go to this foot here. I'm going to do the same thing. Get rid of all the animation on these channels. Translate and rotate. Break connections. Then I'm going to select this control, this locator. Shift select the foot. And do constrain point, constrain orient. And then I'm going to do it to this. Yeah. Right click, break connections, get the anim waist locator, shift select the waist control, constrain point, constrain orient. And finally, I'm going to do the same with these. So this one, I'm just going to, the animation on this, I'm just going to click on the locator, shift select the pole vector, constrain point, shift select, constrain point. Okay, so now if I look at this figure running, it is still running, it's like nothing's happened. But you're going to see something interesting happens now. I'm going to go to frame 24, where we lined everything up. And now I'm going to go to these path waist and path feet locators. And I'm going to do something. I am going to unmute them. Yeah? For the first time, they were muted. So I'm going to unmute them. So I'll select these channels and go unmute selected. Now, what will happen now is these locators are pulling all these anim locators underneath it, and all these anim locators underneath these pathways locators have animation on them. So now the guy will start to run. Now I can see that initially he's slipping quite a lot. See, so he's going like this. Boof. I can see he's sliding backwards. So not to worry. We take the path feet and the path waist. They're both going at the same speed. And I'm just going to increase the speed a little bit until he stops slipping. So let's see. So that, still sliding backwards. I'll go in this a little bit further forward so we can see. I'll move it up a bit more. Still sliding backwards. Maybe a little bit. Make it. Let's have a look at this. So I'm just altering the path feet and the path waist. There is a motion path speed line. I'm just changing it subtly so that there we go. It's still sliding backwards there, so I'll just pull it a bit forward. So what do we have? So initially what we've got is this. He comes around. It's going around like this, and then he goes. Now this is far from perfect. But we've got that. I might push it forward a little bit more. I'll show you how to get rid of all the slipping on the feet. Okay, so around he comes, yeah? Let's have a look at this. Make this a bit bigger. Okay, so take that off. Let's have a look. Okay, so presently it's got this kind of, and this is why you give a lot of frames, because you don't know how fast he's going to run, and you want to make sure that you can speed him up and get the right. So there's some issues with this presently. Move in a bit. So what I'd next do, once I've got the guy running and it working, is if I like the path, let's say I like this path, what's he doing? He runs like that and he runs like this. So he runs like this. If I like this, actually I have to make this, it's got to be a reason for him to go like this. So I'm going to just change this bit here. Maybe I'll go like that. Yeah, okay, so I'll show you. I mentioned to you, you've done this. Well, there's some things we can do straight off the bat to make this look more realistic. One of them is to add some animation to his top half, because people don't run like this. They bank when they're making a turn, and they also slow down and speed up. So what I would do also is I'm just going to bring it, I'm going to make a camera.